Welcome to my in-home practice facility. I know that we're all in shelter-in-place situation, so we can't go out and practice and play. But I recommend that you use your home or your yard as a place to continue to improve your golf game and whatever other skills that you want to improve on. So let's take advantage of it, make the best of it. So I'm going to talk about, what do I always talk about? Fundamentals. But I always talk about proper fundamentals because there's a lot of information that you're going to hear over time that you think are fundamentals, but I really want you to dive deep and I'll help you figure out which fundamentals are good and which ones are something that could actually make your golf game a lot harder than it is. The reason I like to talk about fundamentals, I want to bring it up in terms of right now we can't go to the hair salon. But before this whole shelter in place, I've always cut my own hair. But I don't have a fundamentally sound way of cutting my hair because of the fact that I really don't care if it's cut straight or not. So what I would do is I would separate my hair in the middle, bring it forward, and just cut it straight. And then as you see, let me turn around, it's not straight. It's never straight. It's always uneven. And it's been like that for years. I just cut my own hair. But to me, I really don't care for it to be straight. It doesn't bother me. So I don't feel like I need to go get my hair cut by a professional. I feel like I can cut it without even practicing the fundamentals of cutting my own hair. There's really good tutorials out there how to cut your hair properly, but I don't care. So to me, fundamentals are important in cutting my hair. The reason I brought that up is it's not that we need to know fundamentals to everything. I really think we need to know fundamentals to what is important to us. So for me, golf is a passion of mine. So I really dug deep. I wanted to find out what the true fundamentals are. And I debunked so many theories. I really tried everything that's out there and things that were taught to me, and I really put in an honest effort. And I realized, wait a minute, certain things that we hear over and over and over again are just conventional wisdom that we really don't need to apply to our golf game. So to me, like if I see somebody, or I have done it for myself where I hit a mishit shot, I don't get upset. I'm like, ooh, why did that happen? And then over time, you learn so much about why instead of just glazing over. It's like my hair, I just glaze over it, I just cut it. I don't really worry what people think. If I have people that don't like me because my hair is crooked, then they shouldn't be my friend. But for golf, for me, is when I do make a mistake, we're always, no matter how good your fundamentals are, no matter how much you practice, you're going to make mistakes. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not trying to get you to be perfect in your golf game. But I'd love for you to, if it's important, it's a passion of yours. Here's a good example. If you go out there and you're frustrated more times than not, then there's something wrong with your game fundamentally, and you need to do something about it. But if you go out there and you hit shots every which way and you're having a blast, you're like, you know what, I don't play that much. This is fine, I'm having a good time, I'm enjoying the weather and the fresh air and the scenery. Don't worry about fundamentals. It's not something that I would tell you to even focus on, because if you're enjoying yourself, that's all that matters. But for somebody like me, for me to enjoy the game, I want to continue to feel like I can hone my skill, that I'm continuing to improve, that I can do things that, wow, this gets me to hit the center of the club face. This gets me to hit the ball high. This gets me to hit the ball low. And that's where it allows me to be creative. So my goal for everyone is, if you want to go in that path, instead of trying to be creative from off the bat, because that's some of the things that I see, like here are 3 things to get distance, or here are 3 things to do flop shots. To me, it's like, wait a minute, no, there's all these other things that you need to do to get the fundamentals down so that those things can be more easily or effortlessly created because you have the motions down. So I'm going to teach you a few things today that may seem like it's simple, but I'm going to tell you right off the bat that there are fundamental things that I teach my students. There's things that I apply to my game on a daily basis. Every time I practice is fundamental things, because that's truly what you need to hone in on. So let's get to it. Today I want to debunk the theory of opening up your stance every time you do a short game shot, a pitch shot, chip shot, bunker shot. I mean, I think it's a great thing in a subtle way. I mean, there's times where in the bunker I do recommend opening up, that there are proper ways to open up. But I've had other videos on that. But today I want to just debunk the theory that it has to always be open. Because to me, when I open up my stance doing a short game, just to open up because I've been told to open it up, it makes me do additional unnecessary movements in my swing that I don't need to do. When I keep it square and do the proper fundamentals that I've been working on and that I teach my students, then it just happens more effortlessly, less moving parts. I always say we have too many additional moving parts in our golf swing. So let me give you an example. I'm going to do all these shots with my feet square, because we've all been taught to, I'm not saying we all, but most people, open up their stance for a short game, especially a chip shot. I always see this a lot. And then when I see that, I see this forward press a lot. And then I've seen people hold that position forward. I used to practice like that because that's what I was taught. But you can get pretty good if you practice a lot. And that's why I emphasize proper practice, because you can practice less. Now, what instructor tells you to practice less? But seriously, if you were to practice like this, practicing all day, it's not going to get you far. This is just too unnatural. This motion and this stance, I mean, look how open I am. And then holding your hands out with a forward press too much is just unnecessary parts. Our arms, like I say, they don't hang like this. They hang like this. Okay, so I know this looks like a golf chip shot. You're like, oh, that looks normal. That's what I do. Well, your arms don't hang like that. So if it hangs like this, or you try to put it in that position, you have to make sure you keep that a natural position. But if you let it hang where it should, then with gravity, it should fall back to where you started. Most importantly today, I want to talk to you just about keeping your feet square most of the time. I'll do it with all the shots. You know, flop shots, chip shots, that sort of thing. Let's start with little chip shots. Let's do one where I'm square. My feet are square. And I'm going to do a little chip shot. See how it kind of bounces and dances? And do you see that my feet are square? Now if I open it, it takes more, it works, but it takes more out of me. I can feel more moving parts. And I feel more moving parts that are not aligned. But when I do this, when I square everything up, more aligned, less moving parts. So now let me do one with a chip shot, but with the club face open. Now we always hear that the reason we're wanting to aim left or open like this is one, it's easier to clear the body, and another one is the club face is open, so instead of the ball going right, you want it to go straight, so you got to aim left to compensate that. But let me give you an example here that I'm going to be square, club face open, and the ball went straight. How does it do that? If I went over all the fundamental things that you need to do before you learn this part, it'd be a very long video. So I'm just targeting one area today. But again, when I say one tip, it's not that tip's gonna fix everything. That's something that's out there all the time. Throughout my whole life, it's like this one thing or 3 things that's gonna fix your chip shots. That's not the case. It seems kind of harsh, the things I'm saying, like, oh, you gotta learn the fundamentals, but it's actually a realistic way of improving. So it's because I care that I'm telling you the reality of progress. So then let's just do a little bit longer shot. Everything's square, 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 square. And that went straight. I'm going to do the same thing, square, with my feet, club face is open. And that went straight. So then there's this argument where, okay, you got to open up your body and your feet to make the ball go high. But I'm going to show you that you really don't have to. I mean, I'll show you one with the body open, but it adds so many things. I mean, I remember I got really good at it because I practice all the time. I have pretty good athleticism coordination, so, you know, whatever I was taught I could kind of do. But then I realized along the way when I learned the right fundamentals, I'm like, wait a minute, I don't have to do all those things. And so I see a lot of even good advanced golfers that they got really good by practicing, they have good athleticism, but I see unnecessary moving parts that they don't need to do. I can do this and make the ball go high. So my feet are open, club face is open, and I have more moving parts, and the ball went high. But I did a lot of things there. You may not see it on video, but internally and with my body, I felt a lot of things that I had to coordinate and use more of my hand-eye coordination and athleticism. But when you get the right fundamentals down, I'm going to keep everything square, club face open. And that went just as high with less moving parts. So I hope you can see it on video. I mean, that was really just less. And it was more effortless, efficient. Those are the things why I will always talk about fundamentals. And I learned this one thing, you know, as I watch people and learn from people, like great minds out there, of other topics, not just golf or whatever, but the ones that I realized that really know their craft are the ones that stay with what they've said from the start. Not because they're stuck on that. It's because they believe and have seen that it's worked for others and for themselves, and they're like, you gotta do this. You can't skip it. It's really important. You'll love it. You'll enjoy the game more. It's just better for you, and you'll see great results. So seek that as you are YouTubing not just golf, but other information out there. Once in a while, you'll come across somebody that just continues to tell you a specific thing over and over and over throughout their lives. And you're like, wow, that is true wisdom, because they know. They're not trendy. They're not like, oh, I heard this, so let's do this. You know, it's something that they know and they will repeat. So for me, as long as you see me do videos, you'll get sick of it, but I don't care, because I know that it will improve your game. But fundamentals, I love that word. And then I'll give you these little things around the fundamentals and tell you why that's important. All right, so practice trying to be more square, and I'll continue to share more videos with you. Stay positive, stay healthy, stay safe, and I will come out with some more videos for you so we can stay connected. Take care. See ya.